don't miss me with that gossip, saying sucker free from mob shit. Let someone get out of pocket. Whoa, we come from different walks of life, but relate to the same cause. Sight and live a fight, laid up behind them hospital walls. They focus like the face, but like syringes sharper than a knife. Take a cookie from the jar, grind it, wrap it in the bar. YBT would stay loyal, no damn miss a prop. Shots to my producers, King Jones and Sahab. Hey, y'all with the alley-oop, I threw him up a lot. Far from a corny nigga, I'm the hottest shot of cop. I had to boss up for a check, move my fam up out the jets, draft some key players in my set, sauce of the blue cheese, that ranch. I am a club member, you a guest. Speak of my name, better put respect. Step up to me, gotta come correct. Fuck who got now, or who got up next? Yeah, hey y'all, the Prophet Charlie Black, a deadly combination. It's been long overdue, I know the streets been waiting. Which takes a lot of patience, cause you never rush straight. This was for the record, but going down history in the making. Hey y'all, the Prophet Charlie Black, a deadly combination. It's been long overdue, I know the streets been waiting. Which takes a lot of patience, cause you never rush straight. This was for the record, but going down history in the making.
Hey, the Prophet, Charlie Black, Black Prophet, that's a fact. Went down in history and it's a fact. It's a deadly combo, niggas know that. Prophet, that's a fact. Black Prophet, from the bottom of the map. Atlanta, Georgia to Florida. We up in them waters, that's somber. Black Prophet, that's a fact. Deadly combination, y'all got it at. They ain't ready for that shit, Charlie Black. Let's give it to him, bro. Welcome. Black Prophet. Yeah. Two young brothers.
How you doing tonight? This is our first show on Status Network.
Good evening. It's Mia
and Jennifer,
and we are Sickle Cell Awareness 365. So we both have sickle cell disease. I'm not sure if any of you have heard of that, but you are going to learn on Do I Look Sick?
We have a series of shows scheduled for you guys so you can learn more and more things about sickle cell and interact with us.
Yes. We both have sickle cell disease. I have type SC and I'm 36 years old.
And I have SS and I'm 37 years old.
And Sickle Cell Awareness 365 is our nonprofit organization. We do different events around the city of Atlanta or metropolitan Atlanta. We do the Cell Talk event, which is an open mic forum. We do a Cell Talk, which is a
roundtable discussion.
Thank you. A roundtable discussion where not only do warriors themselves, but the family members of those who have sickle cell disease come and talk about how they've been indirectly impacted by sickle cell disease.
And it was something that was always on our minds and on our hearts to do. But within the past few years, we've really ramped up our efforts in awareness because we lost one of our dear, dear friends. But we've lost many people during the past few years. But this one was kind of like the catalyst for us to start increasing our awareness efforts. Our dear friend, Doug DeVoe, we lost him, and it made us want to have more people interested in what sickle cell is, what it means to us, and the life that we live with sickle cell. Mm-hmm. And it was important for us to start to try to merge the community of sickle cell with people who don't have sickle cell. Exactly. Because, other diseases have a lot of support because people from outside their community care about it.
Since then, that was 2016 when we lost our dear friend. So since then, not only have we done the cell talk, we also have done a paint away the pain, which is a paint and sip session. Like it's art therapy, so it's a stress reliever to help us. We've done the open mic, which is every last Saturday in September at the Apex Museum in downtown Atlanta. We've done a hurricane relief drive for Hurricane Harvey in Houston, Texas. So we've been very active over the past few years, and there's no days off.
So we are live on our Facebook. So I am watching. If you guys have any questions, you can put them in there, or you can call in. Someone just asked for the number, and I just responded to you. So if you're on Facebook Live and you have any questions, please feel free to submit them. We are watching, and we do want to hear from you.
And if you are not using Facebook, the number you can call to ask us questions or just tell us anything, it's 470-251-4647. That's 470-251-4647.
So a lot of you all are familiar with sickle cell already, but for those of you who are not familiar with sickle cell, may have never heard about it, it is a genetic disease, which means it's inherited. You're born with it, and it's a blood disorder which affects our red blood cells. So normal red blood cells are fully round shaped, full of oxygen, but ours are not all the time. They're sometimes sickle shaped, which decreases the amount of oxygen that is in our blood cells and can cause a number of different issues such as organ damage and pain because they're hard and they're sticky and they get stuck in our veins and our arteries and our joints.
Right, and when the sickle cells take over, not only will it cause organ damage or pain, but it also causes deterioration in our joints, the hips, the shoulders, the ankles, the knees. In certain types of sickle cell, like SC, retinopathy is more prone. So it wreaks havoc on the body all over from head to toe. So this is such a crucial disease that affects so many, and contrary to popular belief, it affects people outside of the African American community. So just because you're white or Hispanic, don't think that you're exempt from having sickle cell disease or sickle cell trait, because it far expands the African American community.
So this is our first show. We already said that, but we wanted to take this moment to introduce you guys to us and our story, and just tell some things about us. So Mia and I have known each other for
forever. Since we were 10 and 11 years old. We met at Camp New Hope, which is the annual summer camp. It's a week-long summer camp held by the Sickle Cell Foundation of Georgia. We were 10 and 11, 1993. We were actually featured in the Atlanta Journal-Constitution that year for the camp in arts and craft. So we reconnected, 7, 8 years ago?
Yeah, something like that.
We reconnected, and we've been powerful ever since. Just building this organization together to be able to do different things.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. But I do want to tell people a little bit about my personal story with sickle cell, and then maybe you can feel free to join in. So like I said, I'm 37 years old. I was told that I wouldn't make it past age 18, but clearly that was wrong. I've had my shoulder replaced. I've had my hip replaced. I've had multiple bouts with acute chest syndrome. No, those of you with sickle cell are familiar with that. I also have pulmonary hypertension as a result of my sickle cell. Just a number of things that have affected me with this disease, but everything that has affected me has only made me stronger. And I know that we're always talking about finding a cure, and that's like a big thing right now. But I know that me having this disease at this point in my life is something that pushes me and gives me drive. So who knows what the future may hold for me, but right now I know that I take every moment that I have to be thankful for what I have and just keep pushing hard for sickle cell.
And that's a very important thing to remember, to just keep your mind focused and moving forward. I'm 36, and no, I didn't get told a age limit that I would reach. I may not have acute chest or have certain problems that people with maybe a more severe form of sickle cell have. However, I've lost sight in my right eye because of sickle cell. The blood vessels block the retina in the back of the eye and does damage. I've had multiple laser surgeries to fix that. I've had both of my hips replaced due to avascular necrosis, which basically means the bones in the joints are dying off because they can't get the circulation that they need. So I've had both of my hips replaced. I have AVN in my left shoulder. I have AVN in my spine. So it's constantly tearing us down, but we stay winning for a disease that try to keep us losing. We always winning.
I mean, I know that people say like SS is a more severe form of sickle cell, but I kind of hate that because it doesn't matter what type of sickle cell you have. To me, I know people feel differently about that, but it is what it is. We're all in this fight together. So I never say that just because it diminishes one person's fight. To me, if they have SS or a different form of sickle cell than I have, I feel like we're all in this together.
We are, and it takes teamwork to make the dream work. Like having sickle cell, we need a good support system. Your loved ones, whether it's family or friends, your team of doctors, and it's very important to stay connected and keep the communication lines open between you and your team of doctors. Sickle cell it doesn't just affect the blood. We have to see cardiologists, pulmonologists, orthopedic,
nephrologist,
ophthalmologist, the whole thing. So and it's hard to find doctors who may be specializing in pulmonology and dealing with sickle cell. So it poses a challenge when we run into these new doctors who are unfamiliar with the combination of these things. So that's where we have to take it upon ourselves to advocate for ourselves and teach the doctors about our bodies and about our disease, especially if it's a new doctor.
Well, because you are like your first doctor, even though these physicians have gone to school for medicine, they don't know you personally, so you have to be your own advocate. Oh,
we have a call already. Let's see. Hello, this is SCA 365.
You're on the air.
Oh, they hung up.
Did they?
Oh,
no.
So we don't know
well, we
what
lost
happened.
you.
I think that
Try
was...
back. We're going to keep hanging up on people.
So it looks like someone we met at the support group. There's a support group meeting that the Sickle Cell Foundation of Georgia has every month. So we'll give information about that as time moves closer to that. So yeah, sickle cell just affects so much, and it just takes so much to deal with it, and I'm still learning about the disease, to be honest. Yes, yeah. I'm 36, and it's been such a journey, and like Jennifer mentioned, it just pushes us to move forward. Every time we get knocked down, it's just more gumption to just go even harder at this. So,
and then when you find out new things every day about your body, about your disease, it just makes you like want to continue to move on and push forward, to educate yourself and to educate others. And that's what we're going to try to do on this show, educate you all while meeting other people who can educate us, bring about information about, diversity in sickle cell, more information about sickle cell trait, more information about the disease, and information about
the treatments,
medical treatments,
cures. We gonna talk about it all, y'all.
So just bear with us while we get our bearings here. Let me see some of you guys. I don't have a list of doctors. I only have the list of doctors that someone asked if I had a list of doctors. We don't have a list of doctors. I have who I personally see here in Atlanta. There are a few people that I really do recommend. You can inbox us if you have questions about that.
I will always advocate for Grady Healthcare, the acute care Sickle Cell Center. That's been there since, I believe, 1982 with Dr. James Ekman, who founded the Sickle Cell Acute Care. What they do is, if you're having a pain crisis, they're 24 hours. So if you're hurting at 2 o'clock in the morning, you can go let them know you have sickle cell. They can see what, have the doctor check you out. They'll give you fluids and pain meds for an 8-hour period. If you are feeling better, you get to go home. If not, then they'll admit you based upon how you're feeling or any other tests that come. So Grady's sickle cell acute care is really good with that.
Yeah, they are good. And me personally, I have a good pulmonologist here in Atlanta, so I don't know if people are out there suffering with pulmonary hypertension as a result of sickle cell disease. He is a Piedmont physician. But like I said, if you have questions about doctors, we are affiliated with other advocates who can help you. We can give you information about people who may live in Houston or wherever it is that you are, who have a list of people that they see or that they recommend.
Yes.
So one thing that we wanted to touch on is the difference that we've noticed in care from like previous years to now. Now, like I said, I'm 37, so I've been in adult care for a pretty long time. But I did notice that, as a child, my care was significantly better than it is today. I've recently built a really good team that I can really depend on. And that's one of the things that's really important and we want to get across while we're broadcasting, is having a support system and building a team and the importance of that.
Yeah, we can't fight this disease alone. So we're going to take this phone call. Hello, you're on with SCA 365.
Hi, Mia?
Yes. Hi, Taylor.
Hi, my love. Okay. So I wanted to chime in on the conversation. I had a question for you guys.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, I have a question for Jennifer because I know you do not have children.
Okay.
And I know her son has sickle cell as well, right?
He has a trait.
Okay, well, Jennifer, how do you think your son handled you having sickle cell? Like, how does he, when you get sick or when you just go into a regular crisis, how does he handle it?
Well, my son is very, very protective of me. He will tell you, and it's actually kind of true, even though it's also a little bit sad, that he's been taking care of me all his life. And he kind of has been. So now that he's a little bit older and I'm not really as sick as much as I was when he was younger, he just usually is very supportive. He lets me, he's like, Mom, you need to go to the hospital. A lot of times he's the one that tells me you need to go in and you need to be taken care of. And he's like, don't worry about me. I can take care of myself. Although I know that he worries about me. He's very concerned. And a lot of times he loses sleep. But I think that as he gets older, he goes more into his own lane. But it still affects him, I think, mentally and physically, as far as like when I get sick and him not having control over that.
So how old is your son?
He's 15.
Okay, so in his early ages, a baby through before he hit a teenager. During school, while you had to go to the hospital or you got sick and somebody had to keep him, did you notice change in his behavior?
So no, I didn't notice a change in his behavior during those times because I never used to leave and go to the hospital without telling him. I always thought it was important to let him know what was going on. So I never would go. I would be like, okay, I have to go to the doctor today. And I would pray that they wouldn't keep me, but I would always try to inform him and let him know. He never like acted out or anything to that manner. But he became really adept at using the phone and calling out for help.
All right, ma'am. Thank you, Taylor, for calling in. You know, you can always reach out if you have more questions, especially with kids. Jennifer, I can say, is somewhat of an expert on that. She can answer those questions. So thank you for calling, Taylor.
Yes, ma'am, and I'm supporting y'all 115%. I love y'all and keep doing a great job.
We love you
Love
too.
you too.
Ma'am.
Thank you.
So yeah, that's another thing we didn't recently mention, how sickle cell also plays a part on your mental health, which is a discussion that we'll get into in a later show. But just to touch on it, being in the hospital all the time and being traumatized by these different medical mishaps or medical issues, it can honestly cause PTSD.
I totally agree with that.
And it's very easy to sink into depression because we can't, we're 36 and 37, but we can't function like the normal 36 and 37 year olds. We have a different kind of turn up than the other 36 or 37 year olds. We might need extra water. We have hydration backpacks. We may need a nap throughout the day because we can't party all night. But that comes with learning about you and your disease, how to take care of not just your physical disease, but also your mental health and how to cope with it. So we'll definitely have shows that expand on the mental health aspect of sickle cell disease.
Speaking of mental health, I don't particularly know of any studies that are really looking at the effects of sickle cell and mental health.
Okay.
I think that's something that we probably need to look into because I don't think that enough work is being done on that, like the mental aspect of dealing with sickle cell disease. And I know that like with other diseases, they talk about like the whole approach, like the whole body approach. But I think that a lot of the care with sickle cell is more like symptomatic, like, okay, let's treat this pain, but they don't really look at the whole body of it,
Which that will also be another show. So we have a lot of different topics for the shows coming up that also talk about holistic care. And when we say holistic care, we're talking about the mind, body, and soul.
Right.
It's all one. And you can't, if you have one without the other two, everything is off balance. But if we somehow can incorporate all these things and create a lifestyle based upon that, then it's possible that we can minimize some of our complications.
At least, address our triggers.
Right. Stress is a trigger. Stress is a huge trigger for sickle cell patients. So it's very important to be able to find a coping mechanism to deal with stress. The cold weather is a trigger, mainly because our blood vessels constrict when it's cold. So it makes it even more difficult for the blood cells and just the blood to flow, period. Some women go into a crisis when they have their menstrual cycle every month. Men with sickle cell deal with priapism, which is an extended erection. I know some of you may be like, "Oh, let me get some of that," but no, it's not.
That's
it's no fun at all. So yeah, it just sickle cell just spill. It's a beast that spills over your whole life.
And thank you, Candace, for telling me about the qualitative studies about the mental health issues regarding sickle cell. Maybe you could forward that to us if you have a link or something. I'd appreciate it.
Yes, if you guys have any information that you want to share with us that you think we need to take a look at it, please send it to our inbox. We'll definitely take a look at it, and if it's something worth talking about, of course, we'll share it with you guys and give you guys our thoughts and everything else on it.
If you guys have anything that you want to see us talk about, or any topics that you feel aren't discussed enough or what have you, just drop us a line. Like, we do read everything. Even if we don't respond to everything, we do read everything. So this is about you and what you want to see, and trying to formulate something around that, because where else can you get information about sickle cell on a frequent basis? Like, where else is anyone talking about this?
Right. And that's our goal, to just have a platform to talk about sickle cell disease. It's such an ignored illness. It's an invisible illness. Like our show title says, do we look sick? You can't look at a person with sickle cell and say, hey, they must have sickle cell. Us having sickle cell, we may see certain things that maybe they have sickle cell. Jaundice is a thing. If their eyes are really, really yellow, jaundice is an issue, not just with sickle cell patients, but a lot of sickle cell patients deal with jaundice, and they have the yellowing of the eyes and the yellowing of the skin. Some of them are really thin. I used to be 250 pounds, and people who were familiar with sickle cell would actually look at me and say, oh, well, you're healthy to have sickle cell. No, because I was overweight. So, and that added to the stress on my hips, which, of course, with the sickle cell,
that just speaks to people's ignorance, though, about the disease. You know what I mean?
Does.
Like, just by looking at someone and being able to say, you look like this or you look like this. No, I don't look like anything. Mm-hmm. And you can't tell what's going on in my body. And honestly, I feel like if you look at me and you think I look sick, then I haven't done my job for the day.
Right.
So.
Right. Yeah. Sickle cell sickness does not have a look. You may see cancer patients who have lost their hair and now they wear a scarf, and that's maybe a dead giveaway, but you can't look at us and tell that anything is wrong. If we looked like sickle cell, you guys would probably be scared to death. That's just hilarious. The reality of it. But if we look like sickle cell, we'd be a hot mess, to be honest. I'm just keeping it real. So, but yeah, what else is there?
So we do want to talk about a few things that we have coming up. A few events that are going to be coming up. We do have in January on the 25th at the Sickle Cell Foundation of Georgia here on Benjamin E. Mays. From 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Mm-hmm. There's going to be a transition workshop for children transitioning from pediatric care to adult care. So that's actually going to be focusing on mental health. So that's actually a really good segue.
Right. And the transition workshops are for children ages 13 to 18 and their parents, as well as those who have already transitioned into adult care between the ages of 19 and 25. Between the ages of 19 and 25 is the age range where we lose a lot of sickle cell patients. And we're not sure if they kind of get lax on their care because now it's in their hands. Them, Yeah, so the workshops are to empower the parents and the warriors to, for one, take control of their health themselves and know what's needed going into adult care. So yes, like she said, that's on Benjamin E. Mays Drive, 2391 Benjamin E. Mays at the Sickle Cell Foundation of Georgia, January 25th from 10 to 2. And you can register. We'll post those links where you can register for that. So we'll have a good number of people that we know are coming. And
also on January 29th at the Georgia Capitol building is going to be Sickle Cell Day at the Capitol. So you can come out there and speak with your, congressmen or your lawmakers about the things that affect you. You know, us showing up there a lot of times really makes a difference because they get to see how many of us are in the community dealing with sickle cell and that it is something that they need to take seriously. So the more people that come out, the better that day goes.
Right. Please wear red on that day as well so that they know what we're there for and who we stand for. March 7th at the Courtyard Marriott.
Yeah, the Courtyard Atlanta North Lake.
That will be our sale talk forum. So please go to SCA365.com for details. Once we have the information where you can purchase tickets to come out, we'll post that so you can check that out. Like we said, we call it sale talk. So come out, bring your loved ones, whether it's your spouse, your parents, your kids, your sister, brother, aunts, whoever, bring them out and let's all have a open discussion about how sickle cell has affected the entire family and not just that one person. We're actually off to Houston or Burton, Texas next month for the first adult. Well, this is the second year, but this is the first group to do a sickle cell adult retreat, and that just takes us back to kids camp. We had so much fun last year. We did so many different activities in like a 3-day time span that was built around sickle cell and adulting with sickle cell. So
and also going back to the cell talk, you can also bring your friends because it is something that requires a community of support. And sometimes people don't have familial support, but they do have friends who have become like family. So that's our attempt at having an honest dialogue with people outside of the sickle cell community. So we'd like to make that event as family and friend oriented as we possibly can.
Right. So if you guys still have any questions, let me give you that number again. It's 470-251-4647. 470-251-4647. So the next show will go more in detail about sickle cell trait and what you guys need to know about that. The next show is January 20th.
I think so.
27th. I'm sorry. January 27th
Oh, yeah.
is our next show. But like I said, the entire series of Do I Look Sick will just talk about everything sickle cell related. So you guys should be well informed, or hopefully this is a start. All right, let's see who we got next. Hello, thank you for calling SCA 365.
Yes, hello.
Hello, LaCrystal.
Okay, she hung up. Call us back.
Call us back, LaCrystal, so we can answer your questions. We've built such a team within the sickle cell community and outside the community. As Jennifer mentioned earlier, we try to bridge those two. So there's a ton of people outside of the sickle cell community who has never even heard of sickle cell disease. There are people who don't find out that they have the sickle cell trait until they experience a emergency situation that causes them pain or causes them issues, and now they're told they have sickle cell trait.
Yeah.
I know someone who was misdiagnosed with sickle cell trait and didn't find out that he had a type of sickle cell disease until he was in his 40s. So, and it's something, if that's something that you're interested in seeing if you have the trait, if you want to know your trait status, they do blood tests at the Sickle Cell Foundation of Georgia. And if you ask your doctor, you need to ask for that test specifically. If you don't ask for it, they're not going to run it. So you would have to ask for the sickle cell to be tested for sickle cell trait specifically.
So we want to our sponsors. Sponsors.
Yeah, so we want to recognize our sponsors at this time. We've had some amazing people to really support us and help us on this journey, and to even just kickstart it. Excuse me. We've been doing this honestly for years. This is not something that we just did, and we've been working on this for years. So we really wanted to thank Tanya Robinson with Kids Stop Daycare and Learning Center. She's also one of our board members, so she's been a great help to us. One of our biggest supporters. We have our Hurricane Harvey relief drive over there. We've done trunk or treat for those who want to have a fall festival. You come in your costume. She has the horseback riding, the jump houses, and everything. So we try to do a lot of stuff within the community. Also, we have the Apex Museum with Mr. Dan Moore. Please, this is our history at this museum, you guys. This is a African American history museum that's been there for 40 plus years.
And some people don't even know that it's there, and they've lived here their entire lives.
And it's right in downtown Atlanta on Auburn Avenue, so you probably pass the exit often, but it's right here in the city, downtown. Please check it out. Please support Mr. Moore and learn some things about our history. It's so much out there to learn, so that's a great place to start. It has very good visual effects of the history of Atlanta as well. So please check out Mr. Moore with the Apex Museum. What else?
And I know a lot of you guys are on our Facebook page, but I don't know if everyone follows us on Instagram also. We are SCA365 on there as well. So
Instagram and Twitter, we're SCA365. It's Facebook, Sickle Cell Awareness 365. Also, we want to thank Status Network for allowing us this opportunity. So please follow them on Facebook. Follow Manifest TV on Instagram. Status Network, again, is on Periscope, Twitter, Fire Stick, Roku. And again, you can download the Status Network app and go straight from there to tune in. Also, check out Manifest TV on YouTube.
So now that we got all of our thank yous out of the way, because we didn't want to forget anyone, I guess we can talk about
so also another shout out. I know y'all was probably bumping a little bit to that intro music. So that is two of our warrior brothers, Charlie Black and AR the Prophet, with their song called Deadly Combo. It's on their Black Prophet album that came out last year, I believe. So check them out on Spotify, YouTube, and support them. They are also warriors advocating in their own way. That's what I love about being connected in our community, to see how other people use their voices to advocate. Like with music, at the open mic, we release ourselves with poetry. We have lawyers, we have people, we have warriors really doing things in the community to help us. And if you aren't out there, if you're not a part of the sickle cell, you are a part of the sickle cell community because you have sickle cell. But if you're not out there and seeing other people and engaging with other people, you don't see the love and you don't see the support. Yeah. So it helps with your mental health when you're out there with other people. That's what camp was for to us. We at school and at other places,
you're the only one.
Yeah, we're the only ones.
Or you think you are.
Right, but at camp, all of us have sickle cell disease. It might be a different type. This person might be suffering a little different from this person, but we're all dealing with the same thing, and it feels like our normal, our sense of normalcy. Nobody's looking at us like, oh, what's wrong with what's going on? Everybody know what's going on.
Because I can admit to being I want to say like more timid about, telling people when I was younger that I had sickle cell, not wanting to really make a lot of waves and call a lot of attention to myself. And I can admit being like that until probably my early 20s. Because I remember like the first time I let somebody who was a friend know that I had sickle cell, and they were like, oh my God, I can't be friends with you because I'm going to catch that. Like, First of all, as a child, you don't want to hear that.
Right.
Second of all, it's like, oh wait, like for real, I'm different. when all of a sudden, like my mom never treated me any different, but now here I am at school and someone's treating me like there's something wrong with me. So it made me shy about disclosing the fact that I had sickle cell. And it wasn't really until I became an adult that I was like, nothing is wrong with me. Like, this is just who I am. It's who I was born into, and this is part of me, but it's not who I am. It doesn't define me.
Right.
So I know that using my voice, I'm not like not the most social person all the time. I'm a lot laid back, and I like to kind of see what the situation is. But advocating for sickle cell has made me a little bit more social, a little bit more out there as far as talking to people and letting them know like what we're going through. And I kind of feel like people who don't mind letting people in their lives who have sickle cell, they're maybe picked to lead the community in a certain way. Not that one person should or one person shouldn't, but some people don't want to do it that way. They want to do it another way. And I think that, us having a platform to bring people into seeing what's going on in our lives is like a big deal.
Right. And just to reiterate, for those who are watching this for the first time and are learning about sickle cell, it is a genetic disease. You can only be born with it. The sickle cell trait cannot turn into sickle cell disease. Sickle cell trait has a list of issues themselves, but it can never turn into sickle cell disease. So don't be afraid if you hear that and like she said, oh, well, something is wrong with her or I'll catch it. No, it is not an STD. It's not like a cold. You're born with it. Both of your parents have to carry the trait in order for the child to have it. So that's a very important thing to remember.
A very small way of saying how you can get it, but both of your parents have to have some part of sickle cell for you to have it.
Right.
Either the trait or the disease or what have you.
Right. So, again, we'll get into the trait. We'll get into relationships with sickle cell because that's a whole nother beast that we have to deal with. So we're really excited about this year overall, not just with this show, but just overall what's in store for our organization, Sickle Cell Awareness 365, and keep you guys' eyes tuned into our social media to see what events we have coming up or what big news or announcements that we have coming up. So we'll take a few more calls if anyone wants to call in. 470-251-4647.
Yeah, so, and you said the thing about dating with sickle cell, that's always an interesting topic for me because it's always a question of when do you tell someone you're dating that you have sickle cell? Or, like, when do you tell somebody that you're interested in that you have sickle cell? And for everybody, that's different. For everyone, that's a different time. And I totally respect what everybody decides that they want to do because it's their life. But I'm always like, I don't know. Should I say something now?
Yeah,
or should I
we're
say
different
something
on
later?
that. We're different on that. So, and we'll go more into detail when we do the show. But yeah, she has to fill them out a little while, and I can understand that. Whereas I am like, listen, this is what the deal is. Either you like it or you don't. And if you don't, that's cool.
That's cool.
Everybody can't take it. Just let me know up front before any feelings or anything else get invested, because at that point it might be a problem later on. It's definitely going to be a problem.
All right, let's see if some people are asking questions.
Okay.
And making comments. Faith, she has a sickle cell trait.
Facebook shout outs.
Yeah. Quentin, Kenneth.
Get it right.
Marcus. Oh, Tip, he does poetry.
Okay.
Oh, you have to come out to our open mic.
Yes.
We would. Are you in Atlanta, Tip? Do you know who Tip is?
Is that Tip Harley?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Taylor.
Oh.
That's Taylor.
Why you got
Taylor,
different names?
Yes, Taylor will be there. I'm speaking that into existence, and she's gonna do one of her poems. So now you can't back out, Taylor.
Yep. Now that I know who you are for real, you're under that alias. You have to come out.
So practice your
If
poetry.
I do it, you have to do it. So
Yes,
we're in
there it
this
is.
together.
There it is. Who else we got?
I said Quentin. Candace was on there. She was giving me some information about the mental health stuff. She said that she would do some research and see if she can find the information on the mental health and sickle cell studies. I would love to see that.
Okay.
Debbie watching from Kenya. Oh, that's awesome.
Awesome.
So thank you guys for tuning in. Like, we really, really appreciate it. This is our first show, so we kind of been
Nervous.
a little bit nervous. I have to admit. But I think we're holding it down a little bit. Tell us if we are. If we're not, don't tell us.
We are open to criticism as this is our first show. So let's see who we got. Hello, this is Sickle Cell Awareness 365.
Hi, this man. I just wanted to tell a girl.
Yes.
Yes, Miss Tony.
Turn your TV down, Ma.
I just wanted to tell you guys. Is that me?
What's she doing?
I just want to tell you guys that I'm.
Miss Tony, we about to wrap up.
I'm proud of you, and I'm loving what I'm seeing. I have no questions right now, and I just wanted to say that.
Thank you, Miss
Thank you.
Tony.
That's my mom, you guys.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. As
So-
you can see, we have tons of support, but we can always use more support.
And we also want to make sure we thank our families for supporting us through this journey and everything that we've been working on this year and the years before. So thank you guys for tuning in.
And we will see you guys on the 27th.
Hey yo, turn me up a little. We good. Hey y'all, the Prophet Charlie Black, a deadly combination. It's been long overdue. I know the streets been waiting. Which takes a lot of patience, cause you never rush great. This one's for the record, but going down history in the making. Hey y'all, the Prophet Charlie Black, a deadly combination. It's been long overdue. I know the streets been waiting. Which takes a lot of patience, cause you never rush great. This one's for the record, but going down history in the making. First it was Elijah Muhammad, now we the honorable black prophet. We been in our bag and out of our feelings, securing all the profit. And going outside, don't know what you hearing, so miss me with that gossip. Saying sucker free from up shit, let someone get out of pocket. Whoa, we come from different walks of life, but relate to the same cause. Fighting to live.